Don't forget to get your tickets for December 2nd at the Pie Shop in DC. The Jasons, Houston and the Dirty Rats, 40 Reps, and Italian Blood, brought to you by this podcast. December 2nd, Pie Shop, DC. It's a Saturday night. Come hang out. Get your tickets.
Hey, this is Kelly from the Dolly Rocks.
This is Joe Queer from the Infamous Queers.
Hey, Sleepy P. Martini.
Hey, this is Indica Flowers.
And you are listening to
Our Brains Hurt.
Our Brains Hurt.
Our Brains Hurt.
Losers.
Well, they needed a jingle for their stupid little show, so they called up the Jasons and we said, fuck no. Then they called us again and they gave us $20 and we wrote them a song that said, your podcast sucks. Then they gave us more money and they asked us really nice and we finally gave in and we said, all right, I'll write you a song, but it's gonna be a clone of a Screeching Weasel song that we heard a while ago. So we wrote them a jingle and it sounded really rad. It was the best little jingle that their podcast ever had, but the file got corrupted and the email didn't work. Now they're stuck without a jingle singing Our Brains Hurt. Our brains hurt, our brains hurt, our brains hurt. Our brains hurt, our brains hurt, our brains hurt. Our brains hurt, our brains hurt, our brains hurt. Our brains hurt, our brains hurt, our brains hurt. In a very non-copyright infringing sort of way.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Our Brains Hurt. This episode is brought to you by PunkBox. Guys, it's November. But before you know it, you're going to be hearing this podcast and you're going to hear me say it's December already, okay? Go get your shopping done now. Go to punkboxrocks.com, punkboxrocks.com. Buy a monthly subscription service to punk rock merch for the punk rocker in your life or for yourself. Every month, they'll get a box with stuff like you normally find at a punk rock merch table: buttons, patches, stickers, koozies, CDs, cassettes, vinyl, all sorts of cool shit. Once a month, that's punkboxrocks.com, punkboxrocks.com. This episode is also brought to you by Merch Slut. Merch Slut has a wide array of official band t-shirts that she gets right from the band or the label. Bands that you love. She also has a really cool selection of really funny greeting cards, notebooks, personalized stuff, things that you get personalized, toys, Pop Funko stuff. Check her out, merchslut.com. Now, let's get to the show. How you doing?
Hey, I'm here this week.
Hey.
Shit. Yeah, that was brutal.
It's all I started to get worried, especially when Red didn't hit me back. I was like, shit, I hope nothing happened to them. I hope Stryphenius didn't eat them in their sleep.
Stryphenius. No. Filming a movie, both of us.
Tonight we're talking to John Grove from Coffee with Lions.
Repeat guest.
Yes. He was one of the people who hit me up about the Man Pond.
Yep.
Like right after we published it.
Seems right.
Yeah.
The good old Man Pond. I have gotten a lot of people telling me they were listening to that episode and then something happened because they were hysterically laughing. As a matter of fact, I think I even had one of those messages today from somebody.
That's funny. The Jasons bring out the worst in me.
Or the best in you. I mean,
or the best, yeah. But so John's in the room. I'm going to let him in. Also, get your tickets for December 2nd at the Pie Shop.
Yeah. Now.
Yeah. What's
up?
What's happening?
How you doing, guys?
Good. How are you?
Good, you?
Good. So much to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
I've been listening. Ron knows where this is going. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's unfortunately become like the most popular.
Yeah. Hey, like I said, podcast gold.
Yeah.
Definitely podcast gold.
Podcast gold.
Yeah.
Great to see you guys.
Yeah, how long has it been?
I don't know. I'm trying to think. It's been a while. I know Matt and I hadn't met yet because we did get a chance to meet in Virginia But yeah, it's probably been a few months before that yet, right? So I'd say probably about a year,
Okay. Sounds
Yeah,
about right.
that seems right.
maybe a little bit longer. But I know so much more about you guys now.
So much more than you ever wanted to.
So many intimate details.
Well, I mean, your guest list ever since I was on has like just gone through the roof. I mean, you guys have had some of like my all-time favorites as guests, and I think that's so rad. I'm ultimately I'm happy for you guys. I think that's great. You guys are killing it. So
Awesome.
Great job.
Thanks.
Appreciate
Even
that.
so much, I am drinking a not Miller Lite.
Nice.
I
Yeah.
have Miller Lite, but right now I'm drinking a not Miller Lite just for you guys. I had one in my fridge.
Hey,
I
I
don't
like
know what it tastes like yet. It's a New Belgium Voodoo Ranger Juicy Haze IPA.
Damn.
Yeah, it's been in there for a while. So
I can't imagine why.
What's the
Yeah.
alcohol content on that bad boy?
I don't know. Hopefully low. Oh shit, 7.5.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, it's
almost
not
2 Miller
bad.
Lights.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep, gonna have to put one of these Miller Lights back, I guess. So what's up? What's new?
Man. Well, Matt's been doing some cool stuff. Matt, why don't you go ahead and talk about it? Why was Matt not present last week?
Well, for anybody who listened to this past Sunday's episode, I was not on it, and that was not an on purpose thing. I was in the middle of I was filming a scene for a movie last Wednesday.
He actually had to get a man pond surgically removed from his asshole.
Yeah. Popular.
Pulled out from his nose.
I told him not to use the Brillo pad for it, but he wouldn't listen.
Contrary to popular belief, I was not at a bar watching the casting.
So what happened? Do you have an injury or something, or you?
No, I crossed up my schedules. I scheduled a podcast for the same night that I was filming a fucking scene for a movie. Now, granted, I should have been done beforehand. I didn't put the movie on my schedule. I don't know why I didn't put it on my schedule.
Yeah, I've done that.
And but I should have been done beforehand. But the director decided that he wanted another death scene. And so he asked, because my girlfriend Red, everybody knows Red at this point, is in the movie as well. And we were playing a couple in the movie, and we were just supposed to be a scene later in the movie that is a couple that is friends with the main couple in the movie, and just filming like a scene where we're like having some drinks and playing Uno.
Okay.
And so he was like, I guess he didn't really get like the death scene that he wanted to be this like climactic kind of thing. And he was like, hey, would you guys want to die in the movie too? And we were like, you're going to cover us in fake blood? Fuck yeah.
Of course.
I get to act more. Yes. So we filmed these really awesome death scenes, including a special effects scene where my head gets crushed by a fucking 25-pound dumbbell.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah. And so while I'm literally tied to this chair with a wig on and covered in fake blood and makeup, and like in between takes, Red comes in the door of where we're filming, and she's like, hey, do you have a podcast tonight? And I was like, fuck. I'm like, what time is it? She's like 8:07.
Oh no.
Yeah, yep, sure did 7 minutes ago.
Well, now you guys don't release like next week, do you? Like you don't do it the following week, do you?
It depends on
Usually. So
Okay.
usually like whoever we talk to during the week, usually that episode comes out on Sunday.
it depends.
Okay.
Yeah, but it does depend, like Matt said.
So the one out now is the one where we can capture Ron being like, I'm not sure where Matt is.
Yeah, although I did cut all that stuff out of the
Oh well.
Yeah. And I forgot to even mention actually, which was I'm working nights right now and I'm working weekends. So like when I'm doing editing, when I work nights, especially on weekends, I'm like kind of like in a fog. and I didn't even say anything about Matt not even being in.
Yeah.
It's a secret. They're gonna have to
Anybody
wait.
listening, just like, wait, what's going on here?
Yeah, like
Is
why
Matt gonna
Matt hasn't
talk?
said anything like at all.
And who was the one that you missed?
Which sucks because it's a friend of mine and a band from Richmond that I really love. 40 Reps.
Oh yeah. Honestly, I listen to you guys pretty much regular Mondays. I've switched. I have my podcast that I listen to on Mondays, but you guys are usually my Tuesday. But this week got a little flipped up because I had a planning meeting up in Exton, so things got switched up. But I definitely will check that out. But I have heard of 40 Reps. Have not played with them yet, but yeah. So did they wonder where Matt was?
Probably.
Yeah. So I was, I was waiting. I was waiting, and then all of a sudden they started. All four of them started popping up in the waiting room, and I was like, all right, I guess I'll let them in, and I was like, just bullshit with them. I was like, I'm just waiting for Matt to jump on. So 5 minutes go by, then 10 minutes go by. I was like, we'll just start. He'll be here eventually. And it wasn't until like closer to the end of the episode, because Red sent me a text back, I think not too far into the episode, but I was just talking to him. I wasn't really checking anything. And so like at the end of the episode, I was like, oh, Matt's filming a movie. I was like, so from now on, whenever you see him, his new nickname is Hollywood.
Hollywood. I like that. That works.
He's too good to be here for us. He was filming a movie.
I mean, if you're gonna, but most people can't even they'll, oh, I slept in, or my car ran out of gas, or some bullshit that's legitimate. Like Matt got his head smashed in by a dumbbell.
25-pound dumbbell.
Yeah, I would have bet my life he was sleeping.
Yeah,
but then Red didn't text me back, and so I started to get actually worried. Like, man, I hope
if she was just like, Matt's dead.
Yeah,
in the movie. Got you live.
Well, it's funny. She sent me a picture. She's like, Matt's actually a little tied up right now, and it is literally a picture of Matt tied up.
Oh, that's great. That's amazing stuff.
I'm really stoked to see how that scene turns out too, because
is that Shotgun Hooker? Can we talk about that or no?
No, that's the next one. That's the next movie that I'm doing.
Shotgun Hooker is done?
No, that's the next movie that I'm filming.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
This movie was called Killcast, or is called Killcast.
That's so cool. But let me know when it's out. I definitely would love to
I mean, it'll be a little while before that one's out, but a movie that I am a lead in called Chum, the first one that I filmed.
Not Cum, Chum.
Yeah. Yeah, correct. Yes.
Cum is
that's your movie.
Is private home videos.
Yeah, I'm a lead in that one, and
the invention of the man pond. Is that where? Yeah.
The VH1. Where are they now?
Yeah. But if you want to watch one of them, John, that's the one that'll be out the soonest. Is Chum.
Ron, what's that Gorilla Biscuits thing on the wall that I see? I believe that's Gorilla Biscuits. Now I'm just seeing Matt.
It's a figurine.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Did you ever hear of Super 7?
Oh,
you need to go to their website. They have like punk rock toys. They have like
I bet my buddy Jimmy has a bunch of those. Yep.
John's like, please don't tell me about this. I'm going to spend too much money.
And they have like a ton of Descendant stuff too, like Milo plush dolls and all sorts of shit.
Well, I never, honest God, I was never into like vinyl, any of that stuff. Like you guys know me. I like to go see shows. I like to go and buy shirts and do all that. So vinyl was never a thing. I would buy CDs. I would get the streaming. Well, I joined PunkBox. So I started getting all these like 7 inches and vinyls and obviously stickers. I love stickers. So then I went out and got a record player. So now on top of that, I'm joined to the Struggling Artists. Is that what they call it? The record club. So Trev Allen,
Struggling Artist.
Yeah, the record club. Yeah, it's our buddy Trev. Awesome dude. He's got a cool podcast, Struggling Artist podcast.
Sweet.
But now I'm joined up with him. So now I get every month I get 1 to 2 new vinyls. So now it shows on top of buying shirts, now I'm buying vinyls, and shows are getting very, very, very expensive.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I love it. I love it. Like I love, and I just get my stacks like that now, which is rad. So.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so I don't need any more vices. I got enough. You can ask Claire. I've been banned from basically moving into any more drawers. I'm up to like 6 drawers of t-shirts, and that's with sleeves cut off. So I mean that saves a lot of space.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's that's smart.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. I was gonna do something with the sleeves at one point. I was like, man, I could sew and make these sleeves into like kamikaze headbands or something, or other apparel,
Yeah, like do-rags or some shit.
Yeah. But now I just have like 3 trash bags full of sleeves that I'll never do anything with, and I just need to admit, and I should just throw them away. So
use them as rags in your garage,
yeah.
If you have a garage.
You guys can take them for your Come Part 2 movie.
Yeah. The coming. So
Ron,
yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, and not that I'm sure you've heard, but the first thing I thought of in that epic story, which, like, when I say laugh out loud, it was dangerous. Where I was driving up 83 to work in the morning, and I could have driven off the road because I was laughing that loud. Like I said, podcast gold. But the first thing I was saying, and I messaged you, was that is the oldest cure for servers, because servers notoriously go out drinking all night. They eat nothing but junk food and bar food.
Yep.
They wake up just in time to get showered, go back to work. So especially if you're working like a double, swamp ass, it's a major issue. And your man pond has been around for some time, my friend. Yeah. Not quite as consistently used. I mean, it's not a daily event.
This is the Ronnie Shakes brand, though.
Yeah.
What's that?
So this is the Ronnie Shakes brand. You can't man pond without a Ronnie Shakes brand man
That's
pond.
right. And I thought it was infallible.
Quality toilet paper.
Yeah.
Just don't cut it.
No. I'm gonna have to. Like I said, I'm gonna go on Shark Tank.
You're gonna go on Shark Tank.
Tank. I'm gonna wear like those NBA tearaway pants, and kind of like at the end of my like spiel, I'm gonna turn around and bend over and be like, and I've been wearing one the whole time, and I rip the pants off.
Yeah.
And bend over to the camera.
And somebody did say during that, right? Somebody said Shark Tank, right?
Yeah, I think it was V.
Probably,
okay, good. Yeah, I was just about to say it was too obvious to get missed.
That almost got covered up in 3D's laughter, because his laugh is infectious.
Yeah.
Those dudes are hilarious.
They absolutely bring out the worst in me. Like if they were like, I have a security clearance, and if they were ever working for the enemy and had me in a room, they would learn every secret, because I don't know what it is about them, but they get me talking, and I just say things that, I mean, things about me, but my wife doesn't even know about me now. She has no idea of the man pond.
Oh no, she didn't hear that episode.
Oh no, she doesn't listen to the podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, Ron would be divorced if she listened.
Yeah, she doesn't listen to the podcast. I had to tell my mother-in-law, her mom, to skip over that episode.
Oh, your mother-in-law listens?
Yeah.
She listens sometimes. Yeah.
That's worse.
Like, don't listen to that episode. So.
Oh my God. I'm glad to be back, guys. Thanks for having me.
It's good to have you. You guys been playing some shows lately. How have they been going?
Good. I think consistently over the last 2 years, we've been playing a lot of shows. I think even going back to when we talked before, it was kind of like just at the point where, I mean, at that, I don't think we had even played like Baltimore or Virginia or anything yet. So we're getting out further and further from home, which makes it a little bit even more challenging because it's further that we have to drive and more tolls, and then it's a hotel and coming back. But that's all good stuff. You know, I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm just so happy that, you know, we're kind of getting, I mean, thanks to guys like you and Ron and Matt and, you know, doing and getting the word out. That's fucking huge. But yeah, so we're getting around. We still do play a good bit in New York here. Obviously, as you guys know, there's 2 venues right now in New York, Skid Row Garage and the Kennel, you know, putting on shows Fridays, Saturdays. I mean, I've seen so many Sunday matinee shows that weren't happening before. Thursday night, Wednesday night shows. It's just crazy. York's really, really becoming, you know, kind of a place where I think a lot of bands are kind of gravitating to, which is kind of cool.
That's cool. Yeah, that's where I saw Corey Feldman.
I did hear that. Yeah, well,
I met your friend.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Scotty McMaster, good dude. Yeah. And the consensus that I heard was it was a pretty cool show. The venue looks amazing.
The venue's awesome. In fact, I was asking Scotty like what the capacity is and what, you know, how much it costs to rent it out. Because it's a really, really cool venue. And it's not too far from Baltimore, DC, if Matt ever do something huge. But I guess he's just starting to put together metal shows there. Yeah,
they held one already. And I guess when I was talking to him, it was just after you guys had talked. He was saying about let's try this and get maybe a little bit of momentum. But yeah, I mean, I would think maybe even like an off night or something, like a Thursday night might be cool down there. Because Redline actually has a pretty good grassroots scene from what I'm hearing. We were invited to play a couple like, you know, Fire Hall, VFW type shows down there. Yeah. And unfortunately, both we couldn't do. But I mean, from the videos, it looks like they have a nice crowd coming. So
that's cool.
And like you said, we're so close to Baltimore, and I think we have a nice network going between Baltimore and New York. We could definitely set something up. So
yeah, Philly too. You know, it's not too far. So
not at all. Yeah. Lancaster, Philly, Harrisburg. We could definitely pull, especially if you got the right headliner. I think it'd be pretty cool.
That venue had like a self-serve bar. They had like taps on the wall, and you went and you got a wristband.
Yep.
And you scan the wristband, and then you put your cup and the beer. It's like, you know, it doesn't charge you per beer. It charges you like how much you pour. So you could pour like half a glass. And it's like, it was wild. It had like cider too, and like a bunch of beers and stuff.
We have a place here that does that.
Yeah, we do too. We have a place called Totino's. I think you can do that with wine too.
Yes, they have wine there too. Yeah.
That's pretty rad. Yeah, I mean, that's a great idea. I think it'd probably be problematic for me, especially later on. I'd be spilling half of my money away. Right. But yeah, I haven't been down there yet either. Honestly, if I would have had probably a little bit more, like I'd heard Corey Feldman was coming, and then it was like, boom, it was the night of the show. Because I probably would have checked it out. I mean, I would have been. I grew up on Corey Feldman. Yeah, dude.
We all did.
I wasn't there for his music. I was there for him. You know, like
of course.
Yeah.
And he's everywhere. Like, good for him. Like, I see so many like reels, and you know,
he fucking kills it, dude, on stage. He's a fucking performer. Oh my god, the music is horrible, and I'm not gonna lie. Like,
nobody's there for his music.
Yeah, but he fucking. I mean, the dancing and like the outfit changes. Like he really goes all in on this shit. Like he's a really, really good performer. So I got to hand it to him with that, you know. And I got.
He's still hold on to that, like that Michael Jackson era.
Yeah, like, basically he does like it's like a really bad Michael Jackson impersonation. Yeah. His whole shtick, like,
but it's amazing every minute of it.
Yeah,
except for the singing and the music.
Yeah.
and
Well,
and pretty much everything else.
And I got
Did
his
you guys
autograph
ever-
on my phone.
Did you really?
This is
Oh,
this is his autograph. You can't read it because he was either extremely tired or extremely on heroin.
yeah.
So
That's awesome. My favorite movie of his is going to sound so weird. There was a movie called Dream a Little Dream.
that's my
And-
the guy who I went to, my best friend from high school, Tom.
Yeah.
That's his favorite. I've never even seen it, and that's what he was saying. That's his favorite one too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's the two of them. It's the soundtrack, I think, is just crazy good. Crazy good. I loved Van Morrison growing up. So they got some cool Van Morrison songs in there. But yeah, and the female lead was just, oh my God, smoking hot.
How
Crush.
old was
Like,
Corey during that episode, during that movie? Was he really young or was he older?
I would have said like probably 16, 17.
Okay.
I mean, it took place in like high school. So I'd say like 17 years old. But yeah, excellent movie. I haven't seen it in years, but
So it's
yeah,
like
that was
after Stand By Me. Like
yeah, oh yeah, way after. Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of like punkish, I guess. Like Corey Haim always was kind of like the punk-ish
Yeah,
one, in my opinion. And
Yeah.
I loved him too. I thought he was so cool on that.
he was so awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was I would have liked to seen it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
License to Drive is one of my favorite movies.
oh, of course.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Matt, are you wearing a robe?
Yeah, yeah.
Nice, nice, sweet.
Like I said, this is Hollywood.
Hollywood, yeah.
Hollywood. Look, I even put like one of those big ice cubes in my whiskey glass here for you guys. Like it's
Nice.
it's like a ball. Yeah,
Yeah, I have some of those. Yeah.
yeah, they're pretty nice.
I was gonna put like a sweater or sweatshirt on or something because it's a little chilly in the house.
Oh man.
And
Then you just went full
robe
robe.
it up.
yeah, the robe was just sitting right there. So it was sitting right over there. This was from my Halloween costume this year. My girlfriend Red and I did Black Widow and Hawkeye
Okay, I'm trying to figure out how.
because I was dressed up like Hawkeye from MASH.
You know,
okay, yeah,
it's-
that's
it's
pretty
funny.
good.
I went with my friend Tom to go see The Exorcist on November 1st, day after Halloween. And when I saw the pictures of your Halloween costume, I saw them, but I didn't get it because I didn't even think of Hawkeye from.
Yeah,
And I'm driving to the theater with Tom, and Tom's like, Matt's fucking hilarious. He's like, he was Hawkeye from Matt. I was like, oh shit, Hawkeye. I was like, I get it now.
Black Widow from Hawkeye. Yeah, that's why people can walk
Matt-
up to us
Yeah,
because
Tom
she was
totally got
clearly
it.
Black Widow. Like you
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
mistake that.
Oh yeah,
And
totally.
people are like, "What are you guys?" And she'd be like,
Yeah,
Black Widow and Hawkeye, and I could be like, I'm an idiot.
yeah. Tom's way more aware than I am, so he got it and explained it to me.
Well, and two, I mean, MASH. We're talking about like I'm 44,
Yeah, we're the
and I
same.
was slightly aware of MASH because of my age. So I'm saying like that's a 45 to like 55.
You were only
age range.
slightly aware of MASH.
Yeah,
I'm 44
yeah.
as well, and I feel like MASH was on every single day. You
It
could,
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
It was. I just didn't watch it.
yeah. See, there you go. You had to watch it.
But when it comes to MASH, until like maybe even like 3 or 4 years ago, I thought it was the Vietnam War, but it was actually
No,
the
it's
Korean
Korean.
War.
It's the Korean War.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Yeah.
Well, MASH like, wasn't MASH like the most watched finale
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, I
of
think
all
it's-
time
In
until
television history. Yeah.
yeah.
yeah,
believe
but
so.
something took over.
I think Seinfeld beat it.
I think you're right. Yeah, the
Yeah.
Seinfeld finale.
But MASH is like one of the most successful television shows of all time. I
Mhm.
mean,
People.
it might
loved
be
that
it might
show.
be number 2 of all time. It's it's
Well, they
people
only
really
had. I
did.
mean, to be fair, they only had like 3 channels back then.
that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's like with baseball when people say that like Babe Ruth was the best player. It's like he had 7 teams and every pitcher played the entire game. And there was
Yeah.
no black or Latino
Mhm.
players. It's like go fuck yourself. Like
yeah.
that dude would be
Yeah,
garbage
asterisk.
now. I think
Well,
that's a controversial take, but that's my opinion. He wouldn't be half the player he was in today's day and age, but that's,
So,
that's
Bruce,
a conversation for
right?
OBH sports.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. It is. That's yeah. That is. I think you're right.
So
Yeah.
we were invited onto this another podcast.
You slut.
I know. I get around. Well, this one we actually have to go in, take our equipment in, and we play 2 songs.
Oh, sweet.
And then it's video, and then it's like an in-person interview. But I kept like thinking about it. I was like, where the hell do I know this? It's and of course I'm like it's WITF. I'm like, why does that sound familiar? Well, it was growing up, it was one of the fucking TV channels when there was like normal TV channels.
Yeah.
And they also were a radio station. So like it was something that was like imprinted in me early on that I completely forgot about. And then I'm like, holy shit, we're gonna be on a radio station nobody's ever gonna hear. Because I'm 50. But you never know. It's still kind of cool, you know.
Yeah.
Have you lived there your whole life in Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, like I live a mile from my parents' house, which is kind of crazy. I mean, it's
That's where
good.
you grew up.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Are they still in the house you grew up in?
They are. Yep.
Nice.
The
That's
house I
cool.
grew up in, the house I snuck out of.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, that one.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm about 3 blocks away from the house that I grew up in. From the house I lived in from like middle school, high school, went into college. I'm like 3 blocks.
Which parents still?
Are your mom and dad still there or no?
Yeah.
They moved in. They moved down the street 20 years ago or so. But yeah, I grew up. I mean, I live in the same neighborhood I lived in high school and middle school. So
Yeah. Look, it's familiar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's I thought about moving, like I thought about like relocating stuff, but you know, my daughter's about ready to graduate college. She'll graduate at the end of this year.
Oh, really?
So yeah. So like
Is she at York?
You know, no, she goes to Penn State. main
Oh,
campus.
sweet. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So she'll be wrapped up. So it's just me and Claire and 2 dogs and 2 cats now. And it's kind of like, well, you know, our little
Yeah.
condos is just fine. Like, what the hell do we need to, you know,
Yeah.
at some point maybe, but you know, I like home. Plus it's nice. My parents are in their 80s. So, you know,
Yeah.
being
No,
kinda
it's
close-
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's cool. Michigan beat Penn State. I thought maybe Penn State would win since what's his name is kicked off the coach is gone. What's his name? Fucking
Paterno?
James Franklin.
no, the Michigan coach.
Oh, Jim Harbaugh.
Harbaugh. Yeah,
Oh, he's gone?
He's suspended for the rest of the season. He can't coach.
Yeah.
Is that because of the
Yeah,
cheating thing?
what was
Yeah.
he doing? I completely missed.
He was filming other teams something, right? Or stealing signs? or
Yeah,
something?
stealing signs or some shit.
He's filming, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that's not cheating. Come on. That's being creative. Let's go.
If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Yeah, that's right.
Ah, God, I hate it.
Honestly,
No,
though, I don't get too worked up on sports anymore. I used to let it bug me and it'd fuck up my whole week, you know, if the Eagles lost the game, but now it's just kind of like, I don't
Motherfucking
know.
Eagles.
I'll go. Well, you Redskins fans, right?
I
Not
am.
me.
Ron's a Jets fan.
Ron's a Jets fan.
My
Ron
wife is
was-
an Eagles fan. My wife is from Philly originally.
Okay.
I live
But
in
you're-
Philly too.
But you're a Jets fan.
I'm a Jet fan. Yeah, my family is from New York, and my dad cursed me with Mets and Jets fandom.
Mm.
Yeah,
Well, they
I mean-
were right.
And unfortunately, my daughter is a huge Jet fan too, so I passed the sickness, to
The
her.
AIDS, if you will.
Yeah, the
Well,
AIDS.
but hold on. So let me get this straight. So after years of struggle and pain, and you come to a perfect season against the Eagles with your wife, who's an Eagles fan, and as a Jets fan, they're the only team that defeated
Yeah.
the Eagles this year. How fun was that? Were you talking
So,
shit or were you letting her kind of
That was the one weekend I was in Kentucky visiting my daughter.
Oh man.
So I didn't even get to enjoy that. I can't believe it happened. I don't know how the fuck. Whatever, but
I know how it happened. The Eagles are overrated.
Oh, shit.
classic Commander fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
Kevin, with well, you met Kevin. Kevin, our drummer. He's a Commander fan. So
Yeah.
he likes Washington. Doug's a Ravens guy. Pendy, Aaron's like hardcore Eagles. He likes more sports than like any of us, I think. Me, I'm definitely Eagles, Philly across the board, but yeah, Aaron's definitely he's definitely the most diehard. He actually he'll work on a Sunday, and then he'll try to pull the "don't tell me what's happening."
Oh yeah.
So I can't even text him and be like, "Oh my God, you see that?" Like, he doesn't want any of that. And all of his family and friends are Eagles fans. So people are, so he just turns his shit off until he watches it, which I think is great.
My brother lives in LA, and he's a huge Jet fan. He's a bigger, he's a bigger football fan than I am. He's obsessed with the Jets, and it's the same thing. I can't say anything about the games to him.
Yeah. Well, you say he's in LA, so he's 3 hours.
He's 3 hours behind, but if he misses a game, he's like, "Don't tell me anything about the score." I'm like, there's a 90% chance we lost.
Well, but you know how nice that is, though. If you think about it, ever since they started doing this England stuff on Sundays for fantasy football, it's so exciting because you wake up and football's going.
Yeah.
For people in California, that's all the time. They wake up and football's happening.
Dude, I lived in Hawaii for 2 years, and football started at 7 a.m. in Hawaii.
Yeah.
That's wild. Actually, we're going to Ireland for Christmas, so we leave on the 22nd.
Oh, shit, nice.
Yeah, it's going to be right.
Where are you going?
Belfast. Claire's from Belfast, Northern
No shit.
Ireland. Yeah, so.
I've been to Belfast.
Yeah, have you? Belfast's cool. Yeah. That was the first experience I had in Ireland. I was when
was it? When did you go?
The first time would have probably have been, I want to say probably about 8 or 9 years ago.
Okay.
The first time we went over, and we flew. I know Claire's zeroed in. She's upstairs. She's listening right now.
She's Irish?
She is. Yeah.
Proper Irish, from Ireland.
Yeah, Belfast. Yeah, she moved here in 2003. Okay. Yep. Wow. And her whole family's over there too. Mom, dad.
She's got that accent.
Brother. Yeah. I don't really hear it, but yeah, anybody that's listening to this that knows Claire, they would definitely. But so we flew into Dublin, and I was like, Ireland, and then we got on a bus, a really long fucking bus drive all the way up to Belfast.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Belfast, too. And I'm like, Belfast looks like fucking York.
Yeah.
I was like, it looks like York. And because I was expecting the hills and
not Belfast.
No, definitely not. But
that's Central and Western Ireland.
Yeah.
The hills, yeah.
And but I love Belfast. I think it's so cool. And her whole family's there. And her brother and sister and cousins, it's so tight knit over there. Every time we go over, we see everybody.
They probably have stories from the Troubles. That's a really crazy place to have grown up in.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
Well, and it's wild. I mean, you talk about experiencing something that shocks your system, right? Going over there and seeing that, you drive down one road, you cross over one street, and you see the sidewalks are painted, red, white, and blue. On the other side, they're not, right. And you see the murals, and you see, so even though it's not kind of where it was, there's still a lot of imprinting of that era on now. But yeah, so we'll be back over there for about 2 weeks, and Kayla's coming along too, so that'll be cool this time.
Cool.
We took her over when she was, I want to say 16 or 17. So she was just just slightly off from being able to partake in, the underage drinking rules over in Ireland. Yeah, but now she's 22, so she can party. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, Ireland is I went to Ireland, I was it was in 1999. It was like New Year's of 99. Because I remember I was in a club and they were playing that fucking Prince song, part of like
Okay.
1999. I had met a girl in Ocean City, Maryland. Ocean City, Maryland, back in the day, a lot of, I don't know if it might still be like this, but like a lot of Irish and Russian
Yep.
kids
Atlantic
come
City
to work.
too.
Oh, Atlantic City too, yeah. So
Yep.
they come to work for the summer, like at all the ice cream places and whatever. And I was living there 1 year between, like, when I was in college. A few friends and I lived in Ocean City, Maryland, and I met these two Irish chicks at the grocery store that I worked at, and I started, I'll cut this part off, fucking, but I hit it off with one of the Irish chicks.
Yeah.
And so the next, for
Hold
New
on.
Year's,
Did she work at Shenanigans?
no, it wasn't Shenanigans.
Okay. Because that would have been for a whole nother level to this.
So I went over there with a friend of mine that following Christmas or New Year's, actually. And we had an awesome time, man. Like, we went to Belfast for like a couple days. She was going to the University of Dublin.
Okay.
But my friend and I took like 2 or 3 days while she was studying for finals to just go to Belfast, and we took a bus up there. And it was interesting. Like, this was 99, so there was still a lot of there was a bombing not too long ago, like in Belfast.
Mhm.
So when we took the bus from Dublin to Belfast, every time it would stop, and people would put their luggage underneath the bus driver would have to get out and inspect the luggage.
Oh, wow.
To make sure
Yeah.
there was no like bomb in it. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, like, this is fucking crazy. And then, we stayed at this hostel in Belfast, and there was these two Australian chicks that were staying like with us, not with us, but like in the next room, and we hung out with them a little bit. And I remember one night we were walking around Belfast, and it was completely fucking dead. There was nobody up because, like I said, it was kind of still a rough time.
Yeah.
And we found this American sports bar. So we're like, let's go into this American sports bar. So we go in there. We're the only two people in there. There's one guy that's wasted at the bar, but there's no bartender or anybody in this place. And we sit at the bar and we're waiting for like a bartender to come out. And we're like, where the fuck is everybody? And the guy that's wasted at the bar was like, I'm the bartender. Just go behind the bar, get whatever you want. I don't give a shit.
Oh, shit.
So my friend Dylan and I are like behind the bar, just like pouring each other like Guinness and all these beers and shit. And he's like, and the bartender's just wasted, like sitting at the counter, like by himself. Like, it was.
The first time I was over at Belfast, it was the year that for the Eagles to get into the playoffs, it was a week 16, 17, however it was back then. But like 5 different events had to happen. Like, and they were, it was just outrageous for all of these things to happen. And I could only kind of keep track on my phone throughout the day. And later on, I was like, holy shit. I'm like, the Eagles just have to beat. And I want to say it was the Cowboys that night. But it was the night game. But over there, it would have been 5 hours.
Let me pause
later.
you for 1 second. Shout out Dak Prescott, 50 points for my fantasy football team this week. All right, continue.
Oh, nice. Yeah, there you go. He's actually not bad. So no, I'm a liar because there was 2 games. There was a couple games on at that point. So it had to be the 4 o'clock. So it was 9 o'clock over there.
Mm-hmm.
But it was getting late, and Eagles come on. All they had to do was win, and they're in. And it was definitely Cowboys. And they come out of the gate and they start just whooping their ass, right? So I'm the only person that cares in the whole fucking bar. Mm-hmm. The bartender put it on Sky Sport, loved it.
Yeah.
Sitting there watching. On the one fucking night, I want to watch football in Ireland and the Eagles. Somebody turned on the fucking Jets game. Jets Miami, who were not even close to contention. Fucking. So are you sure that wasn't you? Were we there at the same time? If it was 99, I don't think it was, but yeah. I was like, how the fuck did I come to Ireland and
Yeah.
I bump into a Jets fan.
That's
over
so
here.
funny.
Yeah.
Now there was only one man in this bar, and he was wasted, and he worked there. So
There you go.
yeah. I want to go back to Ireland though, because my wife
Yeah.
is Irish American, and it's funny. We did the ancestry.com thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like 90 something percent Italian. There was like there's some like Middle Eastern, because I'm Sicilian, so Sicily's been conquered by so many fucking places, whatever. But when they zero into like where my wife is from, it's like from like one street. It's like she's like 99.999% from this one town in Western Ireland. Yeah, so I want to take her back there at some point. She's never been.
Do you know what the county's called?
I don't know what it's called. I don't know what it's called, but it's not like, so when I went, we went to the Cliffs of Moher on the West Coast.
Yep.
And we stayed in Galway. God damn. We stayed in Galway and we went to the Cliffs of Moher. I forget the name of the town.
Yeah, so when we go over, obviously we stay in Belfast, and I'm still, Claire's probably up there listening. She's like, God, you're getting this all wrong, John. But we'll go up to Donegal, which is northwest of Southern Ireland. So
yeah.
She's northern, but it's actually the northern eastern part of Ireland. But yeah, so we'll go up to Donegal. I've been as low as, or as far down as like Dublin, which was a blast. And I'd love to get further down. Actually, from Belfast, we've taken a ferry over from Belfast over to Scotland. So you can actually jump on a ferry, and it takes like 2 hours. They have like slot machines, and you can get drunk on the boat. It's fucking awesome. Yeah.
Have you been to the Giants Causeway?
Yeah, Giants Causeway. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cool as shit.
Yeah. You
We're
can see
talking about
Scotland
Ireland.
from there.
Yeah, you can see Scotland from Giant's Causeway.
There you go.
There you go.
I heard the accent, and
Okay, there you go.
I had a flashback of my ex-girlfriend. Thank you.
God damn it, Ron! You were there. Oh my.
Yeah.
Since we were talking all this about York, I had to, while you guys were rapping there, I had to go and look some stuff up and mention, since we were talking about it earlier, the dude who was like, I guess, I don't know if he's like the filmographer or assistant director on the movie I was just filming, is from York, lives in York.
Really?
Yeah.
His name's Matt Hammond. He's a musician too. He's in a metal band.
Do you know the band?
No.
The name actually, I mean, the name sounds familiar, but it sounds like familiar type name, right?
Yeah. So, but looking at a bunch of stuff about York, because it's been years since I've been up that direction, and I've never really actually stopped in York and hung out. I've driven through. It's about the same size as Fredericksburg, where I live here. I mean, really, like very, very close.
Yeah, I don't know, like, what I consider a small city. Because everything's kind of concentrated. I mean, at least everything that we get involved, restaurants and bars and stuff, is all kind of concentrated at the center of York, but it's a relatively large town, I guess. Now I live in the outskirts in like West Manchester Township. West York End is west of York, obviously, and then you have Skid Row's right down in York. But it's not a crazy large town. There's not a lot of businesses downtown. There's restaurants, bars, like that's what people do. They honestly, like, York is actually like,
same
you
here.
guys. Yeah, well, you would love it, just because if you come up to like York, especially on like a weekend, here's what you can get. You can come up here at 10 o'clock, have brunch at a restaurant. If you follow me at all on Facebook, I love brunch. But you go to brunch, you can pop to another place, have a couple beers, you can go across the street to Timeline Arcade. You can play all the fucking best video games from our childhood. You can go up the street, hit another place. You can hear some, karaoke. You can hear some original, like, live acoustic music. You can go to Skid Row. You can get an Uber down to West Oregon. So there's stuff to do, especially there's a great art district up here too. So, like, I don't know, like, I'm very proud of York. Like, I think it's grown so much. I think our music scene is, just great, awesome right now. It's moved ahead so far. But there's just a lot of cool shit here. So, I think back to like when I was growing up, like, everybody was like, man, fucking live's from York. Well, they shit on York. They didn't give a fuck about York.
Live is from York?
Yeah. No, you didn't know that?
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah, their song "Shit Town" is all about York. That's what they're talking about. And it's not, man. It's a pretty cool town. Like, we have some maybe it sucked back then. I don't know.
As of 2021, that was the last census, I guess, that is official. You guys were just under 45,000 for population. And
okay,
here in Fredericksburg, if we had the same land mass that York did, it would be about the same as our borders are a lot smaller. In 2021, we had 28,000. I know we're up over 30 now, but if we had the same borders, same size, it would be, I guarantee you'd be identical.
Yeah, it's just big enough that, you're not seeing the same faces every day when you go out. Yeah. But it's also small enough that, you can go to a show and, like, we even have like a little group chat that, like, if we go out, like, we'll throw in there, hey, we're going to this show tonight. We're going here. Anybody rolling along? So you can go and you'll see kind of the same faces, which is fun. I mean, that's what you want. It's a very tight knit community. Definitely.
Yeah. I love little cities like this size. They're great because it is just that. It still has that, like, city feel, but it also has a small town feel, and it's
totally.
It's fun to come home to places like that. Like, yeah.
And I feel like it's a city, like, you can walk around and be like, man, it's my town.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can do it.
Yeah.
And
you don't do that in New York City.
Then you go to a real city, you're like, just keep your head down.
This city belongs to probably those homeless guys over there.
Yeah, definitely.
That dude was a producer on Terrifier 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking about this is Matt Hammond? Matt Hammond.
Yeah.
Matt Hammond, yeah.
Yeah, he worked on Terrifier 2, yeah.
I'm also a producer, by the way. Matt is the actor of the duo, but I'm the man behind the man. And if you want to see Protégé Moi, I'm a producer on this. This
you
is
did that?
Richie, I'm one of the producers. Richie Ramone is the main character in this movie.
How do I get in a movie? Just ask.
I'll have to talk to you. I haven't even watched it yet. I have to watch it before we talk to Richie tomorrow, though. So, I think I produced a softcore porn starring Richie Ramone. Because all the female leads are porn stars.
That's rad.
Yeah. But we'll see.
I don't want to be in that one. I could probably I'll get in trouble. Yeah. No porn.
Well, you want to be in that one, but you cannot be in that
Cannot, yeah. And I shall not be.
Not, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's
your wife has an Irish accent, so you're good to go.
Yeah. But I'll tell you, like, Matt, I keep seeing your videos with your, like, cameos, and they're all excellent. I mean, it's like
he's got chops for real.
And dude, American television is very quickly becoming one of my favorite bands.
Yeah, they're awesome. They're extremely fucking awesome.
And dude, super, super cool dudes. Like, just super down to earth. Yeah. But yeah, your spot with the you had the stapler, right? You had the stapler and you're just raising a ruckus.
Yeah, I was the boss. The shitty the shitty, like
Yeah.
Like
gross
kind of like Fight
looking,
Club, right?
greasy boss.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I got like the Fight Club scene where he's like beating himself in the that's kind of
Yeah.
that's rad, man. The first time I was on Trev Allen's podcast, I was like super proud. I'm like, hey, mom, dad, my brother and sister. I'm like, I'm gonna be on a podcast. And my sister messaged me. She's like, yeah, I'm listening to your podcast. She's like, I'm at the part where you're interviewing the interviewer. And I'm like, oh shit. I do tend to do that. So I apologize. I'm probably drilling you guys with
No,
questions.
we love that actually. It's refreshing.
Is it? Well, that's
Yeah.
I think it's conversation, right? Like I'm
Yeah,
just curious
totally.
about like what the fuck you guys been up to. Because before I didn't know you guys. Like, and now I feel like from your podcast, I know the both of you maybe a little bit too much, but I know you got a lot better. You know, Matt, we had a chance to meet. Ron,
Yeah.
we were at the same show. We just didn't meet.
Which one?
Turned out Punk and Drublick.
Oh shit, that's right.
Yeah.
God damn it. Yeah. Were you there both nights? Both days?
In spirit. in spirits. Yeah, no, I didn't see. I think I saw, and maybe not even saw. I think I heard like 2 No Effects songs. They were
Which
long
night?
hot days, both nights. Yeah, total.
Okay.
Yeah, total. Yeah. I mean, we got there early, and I'm always at those for like.
Did you camp there?
No.
Okay, yeah, me neither. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't do that shit.
I need a bathroom and a bed. Yeah.
Yeah, totally, dude. Actually, I got a really nice hotel in that town. If they do something like that again, I'll go back there. But yeah, it was like, dude, it was a nice spread. But yeah, I was there. I wanted to see the Co-Defendants was kind of the main band that I wanted to see.
Sam's rad, dude. The lead singer.
Dude, so good.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah, we had played with Get Dead. Well, not.
Did you? You played with Get Dead?
Yeah, let me reel that one back in. We played at a festival that the Get Dead headlined, and we opened the after party, which was relatively close to the festival, technically included. So
you
we
played with Get Dead. That works. That
it was close enough. Yeah. We got to hang out with we get to meet Sam and all those guys, and they're cool as shit. They're party animals. They drank most of my bourbon. But
Sam seems like it, yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. But yeah, so Co-Defendants were off the hook. I got a picture with I don't want to fucking bomb on his name, Cheshi Ramos, who does a little bit more of the hip hop side of that, and he's fucking dude, so cool. But
is Fat Mike in that band? Like, what's the deal with that?
I think he produces it. I think so. Him, as far as I know, him and
I think
Sam,
he plays bass, doesn't he?
He did, but not.
Maybe
but not when they're touring.
Maybe in the studio.
Maybe he wasn't on stage.
Bass in the studio.
He's in the videos.
Yeah, he wasn't on stage. Not at Punk and Drublick. But I know him and Sam are tight. Like they're, I think they even like maybe live together or something for a little bit. But
well, when Matt
Sam
and I talked
his house.
when Matt and I talked to Fat Mike, Sam called in the middle of the podcast.
Yeah.
And so Sam, there is a second where Sam is actually on our podcast because he's talking to Mike on the phone. Yeah.
So let me ask you, like when you were doing that, here's the interview side of me.
No, go for it.
So you're sitting there looking at Fat Mike like you're looking at me right now, and then there had to be a point. Well, and you've done that multiple times now, the both of you. There had to be a point where you're like, is this even fucking real? Like, it would have to be so surreal for, and I feel like that a lot because, like, and it's little fucking things. You know what I mean? Like, the one time I was on Instagram or Messenger or something, and I just have a tendency to reach out and just throw a message to somebody.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, dude, your fucking new album kicks ass. And sometimes they respond, and I'm like, what the fuck? are you respond? Like I sent up the new 10-foot pole album. Have you guys heard that?
I haven't.
Oh my
Matt
god!
probably
Put on
has.
your.
What, the new 10-foot pole album?
Oh my god, dude! Have you heard it?
Yeah. I think maybe I heard a single or something off of it, but I haven't.
Yeah,
listened to
listen to "Trying to Win." I think. Can we stop trying to? That's how the chorus goes, but it's excellent. And they fucking like message back, and I was like, dude, you guys should come to the East Coast. And he's like, is there a fucking scene out there? I was like, yeah. I'm like, get you. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? But like, no effects, like Fat Mike, like what the fuck? And you had Strung Out, right? You had the guy
Jake.
for
Jake
Yeah.
Ivey, yeah.
and Lagwagon and
Joe
all the
Raposo, the man, the
Jesus.
myth, the legend. Hell yeah. Greatest bass player of all time. Go fuck yourself if you don't agree with me.
dude, that's it. But I mean, at some point you gotta like pinch yourself and be like, I mean, when we were talking last time, you guys said this was something like coming into COVID, you were finding something to do, and now you're interviewing like the most desired interviewees.
Bill Stevenson, yeah.
Yeah, what the fuck, dude? That's awesome, man. I was so excited to like hear it, so excited to like promote it from my end because I mean that's what it's all about, dude. But yeah. So what was it like? I'm sorry.
Appreciate the kind words first off.
Yeah. You know, this I say this a lot on this podcast. The beauty of being a punk rock fan and being a lifelong punk rock fan is that punk rock is very accessible.
Yes. Correct.
Especially if you stick with it for as long, you know, I'm 40, I'll be 46 in a couple weeks. I would have never imagined or dreamed that I could talk to Fat Mike, but I have, you know, and I talked to him a few years ago on the phone because he liked my coffee, and I actually
great coffee, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. And Fat Records sold. I actually sold like $3,000 worth of coffee to Fat Records, so I was like, my first business venture was with Fat Records, which is awesome. I still have like actually I don't know where it is now, but the check is somewhere signed by his wife, his ex-wife. But it's there's no other genre where you could kind of just hang out with your fucking idols, you know, and not even hang out with them, just like talk with them and kind of like have a show. You know, Bill Stevenson, when I was in the Ailments, we flew out to Colorado Springs and we recorded a song with him. He did the engineering and everything, and so we had him on the podcast. You know, it's just kind of like things that I've kind of people I've met throughout the years and just kind of kept in touch with, and it's just a very accessible genre.
Totally.
Of music.
And a buddy of mine reached out today, you know, asking about, and the festival we were talking about with Get Dead was Camp Punksylvania, and he said, so tell me like what it's about, and I said, honestly, the best thing about it is the community and the ability to just be around. Like there was a band that I heard was going to be there, and I started listening to and really keying in, and honest to God, like probably if they went on their Spotify app and they looked to where the location of the majority of their songs being played, I promise you it was Your, because I fucking listened to that album over and over and over. And then I was like, holy fuck, you're right there. And they're like, who are you? And why do you know who we are? But that's
what band was it? What band was it?
Dead Rest. Dead Rest. They're from Chicago, and they just fucking broke up. And I think they definitely did, because I tried to get them to come out.
So Dead Rest, their singer Ian.
Oh, you know him?
He's from here. I used to be in a band with him.
Dude, voice.
I've known Ian for years, man.
Oh my God. Well, and nothing against the rest of the band, but I'm a vocalist. So, I mean, you are too, Matt, right? We zero into the vocals. Like, I listen to that voice, I hear Hot Water Music, I hear just like his, like, that deep tone just capture me. And I was like, man, this is my fucking band. So just to be able to walk up to them and just talk to them for a little bit, see them live, like that's what means so much, man. It's not about like whatever the music idea is. We've played some shows in like different genres, and you can kind of see the motive in these genres, right? You can tell where their goal is. So they want to be the next whoever the fuck it is. Whereas I think the rest of us are like, dude, I would just love for like the bands that I love to love the shit we play. And that's it. Like, that's all we fucking need. Like, just be able to produce music that it's a weird, like, almost like childish version of like just hate acceptance. Like, that's all we're looking for, is just something to be on the same ground as everybody else, and we all can appreciate each other. And that's what's been cool with, like, and I'm sure Fat Mike at his core is probably fucking no different than any of us. He probably has a lot more shit on his plate. But that's so cool, man. That's so cool you guys get to do that.
Matt made him cry.
I'll tell you. Yeah, I did.
You did. What was that about?
I just asked him if this was actually it for him, or if this was going to be like the Ramones and they were going to do like 80 reunion tours.
Well, I think I saw a clip, and he referenced was it Motley Crue? Or something.
Motley Crue and
Black Sabbath.
Black Sabbath, yes.
Yeah.
He's like, first of all, we're better than those bands. So
before I forget, I'll tell you a story about Ian from Dead Rest.
Okay, yeah.
So just because you said you really liked his voice,
yes,
he used to sing very differently.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, the short-lived band that I was in with him, was also the guitarist from Savage Remains was in that band as well. He was playing drums for that band.
Okay. Are there recordings of this?
Yeah,
band?
we never. No, nope.
Jeremy played drums.
Nope, we never even played a show.
Okay.
We jammed twice a week probably for like 5 months, and we had some really kick-ass fucking songs, but it kind of fell apart.
Yeah,
never really came to fruition. That was another band that the guitarist from Savage Remains was in before Savage Remains, was called Stitch the Lids, with some other friends of mine. Really, really kick-ass band, but they kind of took off a little bit for what they were doing, which kind of made the band that we were jamming in kind of fizzle out or whatever. I think, I don't know if that's necessarily the reason, but it seems like, it's just, there wasn't time. But anyways, Ian wasn't the singer of that band. I was, but he did a lot of backup vocals, and we traded off.
Yeah.
And he used to have, the way he used to sing was much more, I don't know, it was very different than that. And probably 3 or 4 years, maybe even longer than that, it was more like 5 or 6 years after we jammed in that band, he was living down in Richmond, and the Flatliners were coming through, and I was going to see the Flatliners down there with a really good friend of mine, and I had kind of reconnected with Ian a little previous to that, so I'd hit him up and been like, hey, do you want to go see the Flatliners with me and my buddy? And he was like, oh, I actually haven't ever really listened to them. He's like, I've heard of them, but I haven't really.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you should come, dude. You'd love them. They're up your alley. And he was like, okay, cool. So he came to that show with us, and I've heard him tell the story before. As a matter of fact, the way he sings now for Dead Rest is because of the Flatliners, because he got so into the Flatliners because of that night. They became one of his favorite bands.
No shit. Yeah.
And I've heard him tell the story before. He credits me with his change in vocal style of dragging him out to a Flatliners show.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah.
And it's so unique. And I'll tell you, the other band it reminds me of is like Off With Their Heads. It's and honestly, like when I heard it, I'm like picturing like somebody like, and Ron, I just assume from the pictures you're relatively tall. Somebody that's like tall and like kind of like, you're not?
No.
Like
5'10". I'm 5'10".
Oh, yeah. I'm 5'6".
Yeah.
So yeah. But I'm picturing, and Ian, like, as long as we're talking about the same front guy, He's
100% we are. Yeah,
he's shorter than I am, and he's
small little
small.
guy. He's a small little guy.
Yeah. And I was like, holy fuck, you got those like that deep tone, but so fucking good. And then I was like, well, Chicago, man, that's like, in my opinion, Chicago's punk rock is like they got the punk rock shit figured out. Like, fuck, now I'm blanking. One of my fucking favorite bands, not Good Riddance. Cut this shit out so I don't sound like an asshole.
Screeching Weasel?
No. Actually, I love Screeching Weasel growing up.
Yeah.
Same.
But-
we all
but-
do.
but yeah, so Chicago, I always like associated with punk rock, and I was like, man, these guys are fucking gotta be blown up. It's a great fucking album. And then you hear like, oh, we're not doing it anymore. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it shouldn't happen that way, man.
Yeah.
It happened. Like,
It happens.
Matt, I listen to Savage Remained, and I can hear your voice, probably because I've listened to you so much in this. I can actually hear your talking voice in there a little bit, which is kind of creepy, but super like great, man. Like, and I think that's the most like amazing thing about this is like whether you're Fat Mike that's been around for fucking 40 plus years, whether you're a band that's been doing something for 2 years, you can make an impact long term. And I think that's kind of cool, like,
Totally.
like
Agreed.
what we're doing here is a little piece of fucking history. What you guys are doing is a little piece of history, which is, I think it's just, I don't know. I think it's fucking rad.
No, it's
And
great.
that's-
That's the great thing about punk rock. Yeah.
Yeah, and since we're on the subject of things that people do that we know, John Grove here, our guest tonight, his band Coffee with Lions actually put out a single recently. It's a cover song of one of my all-time favorite AFI songs.
No shit. You love that song?
I love that song. That's my favorite AFI record.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So hold on.
The song is a
Before I
single
say-
second.
Wait, which song is it?
A single second.
Okay.
Okay.
Great fucking record. Great song. That's
So AFI's version is a great record and a great song. So before I say anything about the song, I want an honest, I want Matt to say, if you love this song, I want it. Did we do okay?
yeah. You did a great job.
Okay.
You did a
That's-
fantastic job. You put Coffee with Lions stamp on a single second,
Thank
and
you.
it's still every
Thank
bit
you.
of as good of a song as the original is.
Oh my God, this can't be happening. God, tell me this isn't real. I can't believe that all I have seen is finally happening. I cannot for a single second stand the way I feel. I always do. I always saw it coming and fell it down and keep my words clear.
honestly, like we never did it with that intent. Really, the only reason we did that song was Super Guy up, and God, I shouldn't have drank that fucking 7.5. Let's just clean this up for me in editing, okay?
That's it.
So we did it for a comp for Some Die Nameless. Some Die Nameless was a pod or a record that was gonna like basically go back to 1997, and it was all current punk bands covering songs from that year, which actually is kind of tough. If you ever like pick a year and you try to find one band, one song that you want to play, there's a lot, right?
Mhm.
So that was the song we landed on, and we recorded it. We did it in-house. We tracked it. We mixed it. The only thing we did was we sent it to be mastered by Scott Gross. But everything else, it was the first time they were able to do it from top to bottom, mostly in-house. And I think Vinnie Marone's band released 2 songs. One other band released 1. So out of like 20 to 25 bands that were supposed to do it, 4 followed through. And so it didn't really get out there. So we just put it out actually through 94 Records on Spotify and Apple Music and all that. So
cool. I totally dig it. Like when I first saw that, I know you had told me, you texted me and said you guys were going to drop an AFI cover, and I was like, ooh, but you didn't tell me which one. And then I saw it on Spotify, and I was like, oh man, I was like, this is a steep song to cover, because Davey Havoc and I believe Nick 13 from, I think that's his name, Nick 13 from
Tiger Army.
Yeah, does the other vocal in the chorus of that song.
The one we missed, or are you talking about like
it's like the overlapping lyrics in the chorus. And I was like, this is a big, I was like, is John gonna do both parts? Are they gonna have somebody else do both parts? I was like, I don't know. This is a big to me, it's a big song to cover, because you got to get this one right. And you guys did a great job of like putting, like I said, the Coffee with Lions stamp on that chorus, because it's like the gang vocals kind of help that part like feel like it's supposed to feel, but it's like different. And
it's because we missed there's a melody, there's one line, and you know what I'm talking about, that we tried and tried and tried, and whoever it was that sang that, however they thought that through, it's very challenging to do on top of everything else that's going on. First of all, the lead vocals, the breathing on that, it's just, I honestly, I don't know how he would do it live, full scale, running, moving around like they do.
It's tough.
Oh my God. It was very, very challenging. I think we could probably do it live if we, practice enough, but we did it for that was for that album. So we never intended on playing it out, but I think we're getting to a point now where people are like, hey, fucking play that song, you can fucking record it. Let's hear if you can. Yeah. So we will start playing out, but it is challenging. The gang vocals was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And Kevin, I specifically, I remember watching Kevin do that yell at the end, which I truly think is like the whole fucking song. I love his just,
that's like an emotionally like brutal yell. Like you can tell he put some fucking emotion behind that one. I've always loved that too, because Davey didn't always scream like that.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean the verse, and I knew I couldn't sing it to his standards, so I did me. That's all you can do.
It's cool because that comes from an era where AFI was still considered a hardcore band.
Yeah.
And you guys may have made a more hardcore version than theirs was.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I dig it, man. It's a great cover. And I don't know if I've ever heard that song covered before. If I have, it wasn't fucking memorable enough to remember. So
I looked it up.
You guys did a good job, because I think about it.
At least streaming there hasn't. I looked on Spotify to see if anybody else did it, because there's some songs that like every fucking band does, and I didn't find one. I found their version, a live version, and here's the other problem is we've had a couple people that are reaching out and they're like really love your new song. Like that, what was the inspiration? Where and I'm like, well, there wasn't. Not our song. None of the credit goes to us. We were just able to do a little bit. But yeah, it was cool. It was a lot of fun. But we do actually, believe it or not, we're not a cover band. We do have some new shit coming down like here pretty soon.
It's super funny to me how like people who are giant AFI fans in this day and age, some of them have no idea about that era of AFI.
Yeah. It's so good.
Really, you like this band and you haven't gone back and listened to the stuff that made them famous? Like, this was one of the best bands like back in the day.
Well, their energy now. I mean,
watching them live in the 90s was some shit. Like, yeah.
But I'm saying, like, even now, like, I think where punk rock has gone, it's a lot more melodic, or it's a lot more ska horns and all that. But you don't get a lot of that hard driving punk rock, because I think a lot of that's moved to like the hardcore, right?
Yeah.
But to have that
melodic hardcore has kind of disappeared for the most. Yeah. Like it's because most of the melodic hardcore bands, and I can't really call them this, but nowadays they started gravitating towards the major, music industry because they wanted to make money, and which is all well and good. But they end up working with producers after a while that, like, I think a lot of them settle for, even though they say they don't, they still do, because like those giant record labels are like, here's our 5 producers that you can work with, and
that's right.
Pick one. And a lot of them gravitated towards the direction of, like, let's say Rise Against, who I loved early on, but I just cannot
Chicago
really
band I was talking about.
Yeah, nowadays, like, it's not that I dislike them. I'm just not into this. Like, this has no feeling behind it. And I feel like a lot of newer AFI kind of went that direction kind of as well, but it sucks for I think AFI's was more personal choice because they really are in a different genre of music completely now. And that's cool too. Like, no big deal. It's just not my cup of tea.
And I'd like to see more punk bands kind of move towards that, like, just step out further and further. I mean, I honestly, like, I think ska has done that. Ska's moved so far away from like ska. I'd like to see punk kind of step out and break out a little bit further. But
it had a resurgence too. Like, punk ska kind of has had a resurgence.
Oh yeah,
that's 15 years. I hope melodic hardcore does too, because
I agree.
There is some melodic hardcore on this planet that is some really truly great music. And I think maybe one of the bands you were trying to come up with earlier when you was talking about a band from Chicago, were you maybe talking about 88 Fingers Louie?
No, but I love them.
Another really, really great band.
Matt, you wearing their
shirt?
It
was Rise Against.
Yes, actually, I am.
There you go.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Rise Against was born from that band. So
yeah. But yeah, no, Rise Against. I mean, am I right? Rise Against was Chicago, right?
Yep. Rise Against was 88 Fingers Louie. So 88 Fingers Louie lost their singer and then lost their drummer, and the guitarist and the bassist decided to just say, well, if we're going to find a new singer, let's just and we don't have our drummer, let's just fucking start a new band. So they started Rise Against, which was Joe Joe Prinsby and Dan Precision, or Dan Wicklinski, I think is how you pronounce it. Wicklinski.
But they were Chicago, right? I mean,
they were from Chicago.
Right?
Yeah. And they started Rise Against, and Dan left after the first record, which to me is by far their best record. As a matter of fact, their Rise Against first record is like one of the top 10 greatest fucking punk rock records ever written, in my opinion. And listen to that album.
What's that
all the
album
way
called
through.
again?
The Gathering.
Yeah,
it's unlike any other Rise Against record. Their second one's pretty good, but it does not even touch their first one. Their first one, and if you can find the OG version of it, because there's the one that's on Spotify is the remix and remastered version, which is still great. It's got 2 extra songs on it. It's still a great record, but if you can find the OG version that's not remixed and remastered, it is one of the greatest hardcore records of all time. It's a melodic hardcore, but there's a lot of songs on that that are just straight up hardcore.
Sweet.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, that was definitely one of my influences as far as like vocally sing, like the band style. So that's pretty rad.
That's why I love bands like you guys, because like, I mean, you guys are like kind of doing that. I think you guys touch a little bit more on the hardcore side than you do on the melodic hardcore side, but it's there. It's definitely there. And you know, as soon as it was our mutual friend of ours, Matt Martin, friend of the show, Chupacabra, the disaster, aka the disaster pastor.
Worst fantasy football player of all time. Sorry,
Yeah, I can imagine.
He's last in the OBH fantasy football league right now. But yeah, he's who introduced me to you and your music. And I remember being like, oh man, these guys are like different for right now, but not different for forever.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was fresh for me. It was like, oh yeah, like I can get into this. It reminds me of like getting into stuff like this like a while back, because it just doesn't exist hardly now.
Well, and that's where I think like what we do is not unique or creative. It's just we stepped away from it for so long. And there was like going back to like the late 90s in New York, there was a very unique style that was happening here that was punk rock, but it was also like anarchy type music that did not obey rules. There was a band called Lock and Key Theory, and to find them, you would have to go to Bandcamp, because Eric Smith did lay down some of those songs. But this band was, I mean, they recorded with Creep Records out of Philly. Fucking amazing. But that style was here. And that's what we were doing. It was punk rock. And it was like this anarchy, like fucking, you know, one verse, one chorus, fucking completely change the fucking song, do something different, and then come back and then fucking end. And that's what we tried to kind of not try to recreate. That's what we were playing back then. But I think stepping away from it, we never like shifted into like these new versions. And that's why we may sound a little bit different. Everything else has just been live shows, just fucking being aggressive and wanting to be more aggressive and just test shit, like go out in the crowd and like just whatever it is, just to fucking excite senses. I don't know, visually, you know, audibly.
You guys have that live show, man. Like that's the first time I saw you guys live. I was like, yep, this is it. This is it right here.
With Chupacabra.
It was, yeah.
Was
like
rad.
You guys have
awesome.
that live show for real. Like that, it's entertaining. It's, you know, it's heavy, but it's like upbeat. Like it keeps you interested. Like you want to see more. You just keep wanting to see more. You're like, fuck yeah, these guys fucking rock.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, and it's, you know, that's what you want as a band. You want to see, you know, bands that you want to see live. You see them live. It's what makes you keep coming back. Like, a band can put out a great record all they fucking want, but if they don't have it live, that's it.
Yeah,
it's just that.
But the live shows, I mean, Ron, I don't know about you, but like the live shows, when I see a band that I love seeing live, I'll fucking listen to everything. I'll get obsessed with them. Like, I'm less likely now to find a band from a recording, from a vinyl. I'd rather like see them live. Honestly, I'd rather play with them at this point. And then once I know their character, and if they can write good songs and they have a lot of passion, I will fucking be their biggest fan forever. You can pull that together. That's what it's all about.
Totally. Hell yeah.
Yep. So anybody out there listening around Pennsylvania, DC area, Northeast, Atlantic, what have you, go see Coffee with Lions live, because they're fucking worth it.
Oh yeah.
Come play with us.
Yeah. Do that too.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Let people know where they could find you on the interwebs.
Yeah. So it just shifted. Doug made a bigger, we're making moves in the world. So it was coffeewithlions.co. Now it's coffeewithlions PunkBox.com.
Oh shit.
Holy
Yeah.
fuck.
So
You
we
guys got
added
an M.
yeah. We're taking big steps.
Emming it up.
Spotify, yeah, all the streaming. Shout out to 94 Records. That's our label. We fucking love those guys. They released a single second. So great fucking dudes. And that's about it. I mean, we're on YouTube and all that other stuff. And we have good shit coming. Potentially beer. Didn't talk about that. We'll talk about that some other time. But,
Yeah, I want coffee with Lions beer.
Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
It's gonna
I
happen.
want that.
Yeah. Ron will save you a 6-pack too.
Hell yeah. Thank you. Dude, John, thanks so much for doing this again, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love having friends on the show because it's just chill and I don't have to do homework and I could just drink and bullshit. So thank you.
It was a lot of fun. And I figured, I mean, we talked for an hour and a half here. So
Yeah.
until you cut out parts, you can move shit around. You probably got a good 45
Oh,
minutes or so.
No, we got a
Yeah.
good, over an hour for sure.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
No, it really is. And I listen to you guys, and all I can say is anybody listen to this, just fucking do that more. Like listen to you guys, listen to like Trev Allen and fucking Paul Neal, and fucking get subscriptions to fucking, PunkBox, get subscriptions to fucking record clubs. Just fucking support the scene, give back, because that's the only fucking way it works. And you guys are a big fucking part of that. So
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very, very much. Thank you
means
for
a lot.
coming back on. It does mean a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, man.
And if you want to send me that Grill Biscuits little statue, we'll be good.
We'll see. Maybe I will.
Love you guys.
All right, John. Take care,
See you,
man.
dude.
All right, be good.
Later.
Bye.
Later.